We actually started this session laying the importance and the emphasis of HR analytics, how HR as such as a function, which evolved from just a support or a service function to today as a strategic partner. Now, every organization, small, medium, or big, everybody now wants their HR organization headcount to be low because they don't want to have as a cost, and B, they wanted to be a strategic partner, not just running some activities. Now, in order to do that, uh, it doesn't really take much to say, hey, HR is a strategic partner, but you need to prove it. You need to prove it to the business in the way you do things there. So, in order to do that, what is the outcome typically the business looks at? Hey, whatever you're doing, you're running recruitment, you're doing training, you're doing performance management, you're doing compensation. Does it help the business in terms of increasing what the bottom line, the profits, the productivity? How can we do that? And when we are doing, acquiring talent, training talent, are they up to the mark in terms of in their stay period, that is tenure, or in terms of performance? We hire, but we also hire people who perform, but are they going to stay for long? Lot of things, right? Because everything is a cost. You can't say I've actually recruited the right person and he's also able to perform, but in the next 1 year he's leaving. Then you can imagine the replacement cost. So the management is going to question you, especially at a senior level, saying that, hey, this person left, he was so brilliant. And now a replacement cost will be 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, depending on the role he was doing, right? Okay. So therefore, by using, we said, HR analytics, we can actually then impact our business results, validate and check. That's what we said. And then we are sitting on what humongous amount of data right from the start of, sourcing, hiring. Then we are getting what tenuity data, then performance match. So we actually sitting on data which, when collected and analyzed, can actually help us to understand some of the reasons, for attrition, some of the reasons for not hiring, quality hiring, or some of the reasons for people not being happy with the compensation. So that is why it is HR which is at the center today, at the core, which can actually help. uh, it's like, it can actually help organizations to get that what we talked about, the competitive advantage, because it is not technology, it is not material, it is not machinery, but it is the talent which is going to make that kind of a difference. How do we do it? So we also then said, okay, having said that, HR analytics now, but where do we start? How do we establish a linkage between what the business wants and what we want to do? So we talked about balance scorecard in our last session, wherein we said, hey, the balance scorecard, which is also a measurement and a management tool, helps us to understand how the metrics are cascaded down, and which gives a shared understanding right from the top to the bottom. And also at the same time, the management or the organization is able to track, am I actually now achieving those results which matter to the business? Okay. So then we said, hey, that's how we talked about the lag indicators and lead indicators. Right. Now we talked about the financial perspective and the customer perspective, which are lag indicators, and the internal business processes and the learning and growth and technology, which are lead indicators. That means there is a cause and the effect relationship. That means these two perspectives actually cause the effect in the sense which will what delight the customer, bring in more customers, and also therefore more customers, so I will get more profits, more revenue. That's it. So today what we are going to touch upon is we also spoke about the um, maturity model of an HR analytics. We talked about, if you recall, you also did some activity in terms of what operational analytics, which is only typically doing what uh, capturing historical data, number of people hired, number of people attrited, and then during a management meeting, I'm actually presenting that data. But what am I doing about it? I'm not doing much about it. Okay, maybe, but only when you start comparing trend analysis, or when I'm saying, hey, this is what is my compensation. But when you benchmark with competitors competition or peer compensation, then you would know where you are. It's like your height is 5'4", but then when you benchmark with something like, I want to be a model, so what are the benchmarks height for a model? Then I'm able to say, where am I? So just like that benchmarking. So when you are planning to do all these things, we get into another level. So today we are going to do something called predictive analytics. That means I have data, but am I able to take some action for the future? Predicting, forecasting. So that is what we are going to do. And we are going to use a statistical technique called correlation. And tomorrow we will be doing regression. Okay. One is learning a tool, how to do it. The other is where to use it, how to use it, and how do I know that if I'm using it, I'm going to get the validated data and accuracy of data. So this is what we will be learning today. Okay, guys. So just to give you a understanding, so that this will help you to understand. Okay, so I talked about this, that at a first level, it is only operational reporting. Typically, some of the, maybe about 5 years ago, most of the organizations were here. But today, let me tell you, they have moved because of the competition. So they have moved. They are analyzing data, not just reporting data. At least they are looking at their trends. At least they are doing some benchmark analysis. For example, if I say, hey, my employee satisfaction index is 5 or 6, they would do a trend analysis for the last 2 years, 3 years. What is my ESI? Okay. So if it is better within internal benchmarking, when I look at external benchmarking also, that means what are the other organizations, what is their engagement levels? So we are attrition levels. What is the trend for the last 2 years, or trend looking at month on month and for few years? Okay, if my attrition is maybe 20%, but then benchmarking with my other peer organizations, where is my attrition? So today organizations are also doing internal benchmarking and also external benchmarking of all. Productivity index in manufacturing organizations, what do? Not only they do trend analysis for their own productivity for the last month on month or so, but they will also compare it with the competition market. Why? Because if I have to operate and if I have to actually make more profits, I have to be better than my competitors. Okay. That's it. So, as I said, even the level of analytics keeps increasing, okay, with the complexity. So, then we can't use the same statistical technique. We have to use higher statistical techniques like correlation and regressions. All right. So it helps you the same thing. When you get this, it will help you the same thing. Okay. So typically, these are the areas where we our data comes from: recruitment, retention, performance management, career management, training, comp and ben, workforce planning, all these, like culture, organization. So we can collect data from all these functions, or I can say areas of HR, right? And when we talk about this, and when we say, hey, we have to do trend analysis, you can do in terms of processes. So, like, say, for example, the entire recruitment process in terms of cost, time, etc., you can actually capture data. Can we capture data cost per hire? Yes or no? Yes. Can we capture source of cost, sourcing data? Then we can capture advertising data. We can capture agencies. We can capture referral bonuses data. Likewise, we can capture all these interview costs, etc., etc. Then we can also capture this in terms of time, our response time, time to fill, time to start, then all these job posting, how many have come within what kind of a lead time. Then in fact you can also do analysis of uh, um I what is it, internal referrals versus external. Huh? Why am I not getting too many you have a job and you also post it internally saying that you can refer, but you are noticing that you do not get many referrals. So there could be some, so you can actually deep down, get more data, do some skip level meetings and understand why is that you're not getting actually, internal referrals. Can we track efficiency metrics? Yes. Hiring, a higher rate, hit rate, um, average interview length, and quantity of hire, recruiters, effectiveness, etc. Okay, having said that, if I were to ask you in your own organization, many a times it is not only that you are attracting the right talent, but what happens is that because your interviewers, your managers who interviews these candidates are not able to interview properly, so you tend to get what? Bad hire. That means you tend to recruit bad hire. Yes or no? Will you agree with me? So your yield rate of better performers also goes up depending on your interviewers. Depending on interviewers. Now, I'm not getting into interviewer training, but how will you check? You have all the data. How will you check? Go and do this for yourself. So I'm going to create some, excitement now. I'll just go to that. Yeah. Okay. Consider that in your organization, here Ashok and Deepak are two recruiters for the same company. They could also be hiring managers or they are recruiters who take interviews. Okay. Ashok is a person who always boasts about his recruiting skills. He has a fixed set of questions which he asks, which he typically asks to all the candidates. He feels that just by looking at the person, he can judge. Is it a common thing? Can you recall? Or everybody says that I can just look and tell whether I should take this person or not, as though they know everything about the person. So he says he can judge whether he or she can work well or not. He is quick to judge candidates and easily explains why he selects or doesn't select. Got it? This is the kind of a character Ashok is. Now, whereas Deepak is a quiet person, he always asks simple questions to the applicant, tries to analyze body language, tries to understand the interest, the potential. Okay. Now, all of you are managers who are saying everyone in the company wants to know who is a better evaluator among both. And we will find out. So, how will you do that? Just give me an idea. I want to give training to people, to my recruiters or to my hiring managers on interviewing skill, competency based interviewing. Now, how do I go about selecting? Because I want to be very specific so that I want to pick up only those hiring managers who don't have the right kind of interviewing skills. Will I say tuck, tuck, tuck and just pick up? Or how will I go about? So there is a statistical technique. Okay, this is called correlation, which is one of the statistical technique. Got it? So before I explain, I'll just show you so interesting it is. So typically what we do is, if you all are sitting at your desk with an Excel, it's very easy. Just open an Excel sheet, huh? Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can put A, B, C, D, F, G. Very easy. So put employees, A, B, C, D, F, G. Put now when I'm interviewing a candidate, I always get a rating. No, I will write rating interviews. So this data is always there, that who got what rating. This is the rating. All right. And after 6 months or 3 months, you can also look at his performance rating given by the manager, his reporting manager. This is the performance rating. So typically, if I want to check between Ashok and Deepak, who is a better interviewer, first I will check Ashok's interview ratings and the candidate, the person who has been hired, the same people, their performance rating. Then I will do what? Okay. Simple. I will do something called a correlation. Now, yesterday, in the last session or in the first session, I talked about scattergraph and trend. So, all that you need to do is, please select this data. If you have copied it, very easy. 1 minute you must have taken in an Excel. Select this data. Okay. Go to insert and then go to scatter graph and look at that graph, how it looks. It should look like this. Just give me a hands up, thumbs up if you have done it, so that I know. Yeah. Did you get a scatter graph like this? I showed you how to do a trend line also. All that you need to do click on any of these buttons, do a right click, then you will get a trend line window opening. And all that you need to do is then say trend line linear.
Ma'am, if you can just show the data once more.
Yeah. And now I'm going to explain everything, but just to create that excitement, I want you all to do this. All that you need to do is select the data, go to insert, then go to scatter graph, insert, then you will have charts, then go to scatter graph, click on that, use that scatter graph, the first one with just the dots. And then once you get a graph, click on any button, any point, and then right click, then you will get trend lines. Do a linear trend line, and then you will get this trend line. Did you get this? Yes, no? No problem. Vijaya, no problems. If you haven't, we are going to go through all that. No worry. Okay? No worry. Okay. So can I go back? This is just to create a little bit of a excitement, but we will go through everything in detail. Okay? Yeah. So when we are talking about such kind of things, one of the techniques we use, all right, as a predictive analytics technique is called correlation. Have you heard of correlation, all of you? Any of you? Correlation. It is a statistical technique which we use to predict. Let me see if I can. To predict. Now, this is a technique, and then I'll tell you how to use it. So, what happens? We all looked at once data. So, data will be, you can also say employee satisfaction index. That's one data. That's a one variable. Or performance data, performance rating data, that can be one variable. So, when we want to predict two variables, now we have to see, hey, is there a kind of correlation between these two variables? That is important, no? Just because I've learned correlation, I can't add it to anyone. So The first and the foremost thing, when do I use a correlation? I want to establish, is there a correlation, correlation? And how does that get? If I'm using these two variables, say for example, there is all this is data, huh? Then if I draw a trend line, just now I showed you a trend line, while one, you can see that this trend line is going up, while one data is increasing, the other data is increasing. Got it? That means there is a relationship between what? This data, like say for example, the number of hours studied. More number of hours you study, more number of marks you get. So say for example, I'm going to collect that data just to check, is there a correlation between number of hours studied and marks? I can do that. So what? One variable is studying hours and the other variable is marks. So I want to see, does a relationship exist between them? So when I have plotted the data, I can see that trend is nothing but a scatter graph is visual. So I can see that there is a line going up. No? So there is a difference. Now here I can see my data is all over and the trend line is like this. That means there is no connection between one variable and the other. Say for example, if I say the the size of the shoe, I want to look at size of the shoe. Is there a correlation between the weight of the person? May not be. There is no correlation. Right? So when you collect that kind of a data and see, you will find that visually you will see like this. What did I say? Visually, or when you put a graph, or when you use a chart. But look at this. Sometimes your data, like say for example, it can also, while one variable is going up, it will show that the other variable is going down. That means what? There is a negative kind of a correlation. Okay. So when so graphically, when we show that graphically, this is a positive correlation. That means when one variable is going increasing, the other variable also is increasing. So there is a positive correlation. Here, when one variable is increasing, the other variable is decreasing. It's a negative correlation. So when we talk about correlation, which is a predictive analytic technique, the symbol, what is the kind of a symbol I'll give? It's called rho R. Okay. It is also called correlation coefficient. What is it called? Correlation coefficient. And when we talk about linear association, which is a Pearson correlation coefficient. Now let me just go to, I want to show you with the data so that you will be very, so till now what we showed you, I showed you graphically. But graphically what happens, sometimes I can make out, sometimes I can't make out. But when we use a statistical technique with a value which is called correlation coefficient, then we'll be able to know how, is it a positive, is it a negative, and what it is. I'll just show you and then again go back. So for example, what data do I have? Let me just see first. Okay. I will say, hey, in an organization, I'm training for so many hours. But does it correlate with the performance rating? Means, does the person do well with performance rating? I want to see, is there a relationship? Got it? Okay. Now, so what will I do? I have to select What have I done? I've selected the data. I'm looking at two variables, number of training hours and the performance rating. Then what will I do? Go to insert. Then I need to go to what? Charts. Then I will go to this. Okay. Now let me make it a little bigger so that it will be you. Okay. All right. Now click on any one and do a right click. Add a trend line. Can you see that line? So this, which I tried to show you, this is a graphical picture or it is a visual picture, but I can't make out much. So I want to actually use this technique, which is called correlation technique, statistical technique. Now, what will I do for that? Simple. I'll put this into this place. Okay. So what I need to do, all that I need to do is function or I can also use this. Do I have data analytics? Okay, I'll do this first. Corel. Okay, function Corel. So go to I thought I will use the in 1 second. Let me use the data analysis, which is much easier for you all. Do I have that? Okay, I don't have it. All right. Okay, let me put a formulas only. Insert function. Okay, insert function. So what will I do? I'll go to Corel. Okay, array one. So in correlation, these two variables, any one can be used as array one and any one can be used as array two. Because when you do regression, then we are using dependent variable and independent variable. So here there is no question of saying dependent and independent because they are not, there is no cause and effect. There is no causation. So array one, I can take this. Okay. B3 to 83. All right. Mhm. Okay. Now, performance rating. Huh? So sorry, yaar. It's a function. Okay. Then, mhm. All right. Now, okay. Now, okay. So, what is the correlation? Can you see the figure or shall I make it bigger?
Negative.
Huh?
Negative.
Mine is can I make it bigger for you? Now
It's negative. Yeah.
minus 0.0516. That means absolutely no correlation. So how do you measure correlation coefficient? You measure correlation coefficient from -1, okay, through 0 to plus 1. Okay. What? How do you measure correlation? Now let me go back to the slide. I just wanted to show you how do we do correlation and how do we measure. Let me just stop this. Go back to our. Yeah. So when we talk, so this is a highly positive correlation. This is negative correlation. What is this? Can you tell me this one? Just visually? Positive, negative?
It's almost
Anybody? Huh? Perfect positive correlation. This is no correlation, zero correlation. This is negative correlation. So when is it a perfect correlation? When it is +1. So when you have a +1, it's a perfect correlation. Okay. When you have a -1, it's a perfect negative correlation. When you have 0, no correlation, no association at all. And when you have a +1, it's a very strong association. So let me just show you some more positive, negative correlation, no correlation.
when it's a no correlation, we will not get a trend line, is it?
You will get a trend line. Right now, when I showed you
Yeah,
training hours and performance rating cell, did you see that trend line? It was like this. It
Yeah.
was a straight line. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like this. One second. It was like this.
Exactly. Right.
Your data was all like that. It didn't show any kind of a trend. Now,
Mm-hmm.
say for example, it is 0.5. It is 0.3 positive. It is 0.8 strong correlation. 0.8 strong negative correlation. Okay. Minus 0.5, 0.5. It is moderate. And here, no correlation. So when we look at these numbers, I want to show you. Okay. So when you have so this is your 0. As I said, correlation when you measure, it can go from +1 to through 0 to -1. So 0 to anything here, plus is little moderate. It's a positive correlation, but it is moderate till 0.5. But anything higher than 0.5 to 1 is a good correlation. But as it keeps going here, 0.8, 0.9, that means it's a very strong correlation. Likewise, here also. Okay, guys, is it very clear? Huh? See, can you see? When you look at your data now, you can actually tell, is it a very strong correlation, positive, negative, or moderate? You can talk about it then. Okay. So what I want you to do is, first of all, the simple one I want you all to do and tell me, Deepak and Ashok, you have that data, right? Huh? I want you all to do individually this exercise. Okay. This is the data for Ashok. And this is the data for Deepak. Now I want to you all to tell me who is a better interviewer and who needs interviewing skills training through the applying the technique of correlation. Okay? Can I show the data again? All of you would need to just take this data on an Excel and do it. It's hardly any. This you must have already taken. Now, can I put the other one also? This one. What is the question for you all? Who needs interviewing skills training and who does not need interview skills training? That's my question. Now, all of you are training managers. You want to decide whom to send for training. Now, you are looking at the correlations ratings of these interview scores and performance rating scores, and then you want to send them for training. So let us see how you will do. Neha, everybody, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will you all do it or you want my help?
Ma'am, can I see Ashok's data for 1 second?
Yeah. Which data, Ashok?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Ashok's data. All right. So all of you should do both visually, that is the trend line, and also the correlation measure, that is correlation coefficient. You have to also do that by using the function correl.
Ma'am, can you show me Deepak's data?
Yeah, sure.
I noticed the performance rating both in Deepak's case and Ashok's case is the same.
Because the candidates are the same.
Oh,
You
yes.
are looking at the ratings of Deepak will be different and the ratings of Ashok will be different.
True.
But you are using a sample of the candidates who went through both Deepak and Ashok,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Can you show Deepak's?
Yeah. Okay. This is Vijaya's screen. All right. Okay. Yeah. You're on the mute, Vijaya.
Yeah, so this is my screen. So this is the data for Ashok, and this
One
is the
second.
data.
Let me see.
Sure.
Let me just see. Ashok. All right. So what you have done is you have now selected the interview rating and the performance rating. Done? Okay.
Yes.
So your two variables are interview rating and performance rating.
Performance rating.
Thereafter, what you have done? You have done a scatter graph and a trend line.
Yes.
Right? But
Yeah.
with this trend line, sometimes visually, yes, I can see that there is no correlation, but I can't make out in terms of quantity or the metric how much it is. So when you do a correlation, when you do correl, so it is plus 0.10. If I were to put it as just two decimals, right? Just two decimals. No. Why are you adding? I'm just looking at your correlation.
Okay.
Correlation coefficient. What is your correlation coefficient? Vijaya, what is your correlation coefficient for Ashok?
Here is the number which is 0.10.
10.
Yeah.
Positive. Plus, right?
Yes.
But I showed you one continuum that the correlation can be from +1 to 0 to -1. So,
Right.
and I also said from 0 to 0.5, like here it is 0.1. That means as good as no correlation,
Correct.
right? Will you say as good as no correlation? Okay. Now let us see this guy, Deepak. Yeah. Now again, you took his interview rating, selected. I can see through the graph that the trend line is on an increasing trend.
Right.
Okay. But I can't quantify. So when you have done the correlation coefficient for this, then it is 0.64.
Correct.
Obviously, it is, a positive and a good correlation. So who is the guy who needs training now?
Ashok.
Ashok. So back in your organization, you can collect data of your interviewers and the performance rating of those candidates who went through them. And if you correlate and if you see that the correlation scores are very low for certain people, which are as good as no positive correlation, then you can recommend that these people need training in
Training.
interview skills. Then again, don't stop at that. Again, after 3 months or 6 months, again collect new data and see that after training, have they improved their scores?
Yeah.
Now, others, whether it's Mitra, Pallavi, Neha, have you all got this, guys?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Anybody who
Yes.
had a challenge?
No.
No.
None? Great. So that means visually you can do through your chart, and but sometimes you can't quantify, so you can also look at. Now likewise, in an organization, as I said, I can look at the entire employee data and other fields and see whether there is correlation. So if you one of you, if you actually open up your a data sheet which came from Merit to do work, any one of you, so that this will be an individual exercise. Everybody should do it individually so that you learn. You can share the screen. I can also share, but I want you all to share the screen and then I can explain very clearly. Start. Yeah. Tell me, what are all the data you all have under what heads, line items? Under the ABC, just click ABC. What are the items you have? You have hire date, you have job role, you have monthly compensation, you have monthly operating expenses, which is training, you have work-life balance ratings, you have total 6 days, sick days, you have employee engagement, you have job satisfaction scores, you have performance scores. Are you all having this data? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Are you all able to see that these are the fields you all have?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, you have to look at, hey, just looking at it randomly, can you pick out, can I say that, can I look at saying, if I want to see if there is a correlation between highly engaged employee will perform better. So which data will I look at? I can look at employee engagement, right? Employee engagement scores.
And
And I
performance
can
score.
look at
And performance score.
performance scores. Now, individually, all of you, you have this data. Don't start working on this. First of all, select your employee engagement and performance score in another fresh sheet. Copy and put it in another sheet. Okay. After doing that, please do the graph and also um, use the statistical technique of correlation and tell us whether there is any whether there's a positive correlation or a negative correlation or a strong positive or a strong negative. You will have to decide based on the score, based on the measure you have got. All of you can do it or no? Yes, just tell me yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
that's good enough. Okay, good. What did I say? Don't do it on that. Copy the data, those two sets of data, two variables, employee engagement, which is on H, and performance score, which is J, and then transport it to a new page and then do the correlation, both in terms of chart, just like the way Vijaya presented it earlier on. So I want you all to do that way.
So is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's visible. So employee engagement and performance score. Good. And yeah.
So
So
using
if
the
you see the
function,
graph, even
yeah,
with the graph, you can make out your trend line is what is showing a positive
upward.
trend positive
Yes.
upward trend, but you can't quantify. So 0.48. So maybe I will round it off like 0.49, which is all right. There is, but I won't say it is a very strong correlation.
Not
So what does it say? What will you conclude? That there are some other factors which could also impact what? I mean,
Performance.
it is their engagement, but maybe not a very strong correlation. Huh? Uh, there are some other factors which can impact performance score. Are you with me? Okay.
Yep.
Now, having said that, I want you all to do correlation. You can actually show me your sheet itself. Who is this? Neha is showing me, right? Neha,
Yes.
can you show me your complete sheet so that then I can just assign some things? Good job. I hope the rest of you also have done this. Yeah, show me the data. Now, I want you all to do food and body weight. If you click on food and body weight, I want you all to do just correlation x and y. You can keep it, but I'm not talking about regression. We'll go step by step. So just see if there is a correlation between food and the body weight. Okay, that's one. Then please click on the another one. Yeah. Ah. Is
This
there
is revenue and pay.
Yeah. Is there a kind of a correlation between if the revenue is going up, do you see that even the base salaries are going up? Okay. Is there a correlation? That means if the revenue figures are going up at an organization level, is the company also increasing correspondingly? Is there a correlation of the salaries of employees? That's one. Then age and salary. Can you show me that?
Yes. Sorry.
No problem. It happens. Technology, you can't do much. Yeah. Is there correlation between higher the
Yes.
age, higher the salary? Just you want to see. Is there a correlation between age and salary? All right. Then there is one more, I thought. Is there one more? Only three?
Something ABC.
No, that's your company, yeah. So
That is it
I
then.
want you all to know. So we will stop at that age, revenue, food, and body weight. Okay. Now that you have understood, you have done, I've shown you how to do it, and some of you have also shown it on the screen. So likewise, please do the graph, that is the trend line, and the also what is it? The correlation coefficient measure. Okay. Done?
Yeah.
Do both graph and also calculate the correlation coefficient. And recommendation, your recommendation. That's very important. That means interpretation of the score. What do you recommend? I just want the rest of you to check for yourself whether the work was this way.
So for the food and body weight, the correlation is very high, is positive.
So what will you recommend? The correlation is 0.86. What is your recommendation then? I mean, what is your conclusion?
There is a strong correlation between the food that we consume and the body weight. So
So therefore, higher the food, higher
yeah,
is the body weight.
body weight.
Okay, right. Okay. Let me check with the other participants. Have all of you got the same number? Done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Can we go to the next one?
Between the revenue and the salary, the correlation is 0.73. There is
So what does it go? What does it prove, or what does it validate? That
higher the revenue.
That means when the organization grows in revenue, that means they are able to pay their salaries, better salaries. Because if you see, the correlation is 0.7, which is a high correlation. Means there's a good positive. The rest of you also, have you understood this? That there is, as the organization grows, if the revenue grows, then even the organization is able to pay better. All right. Okay. Interesting. I want Shivashri to comment on this. I want to hear your comments. And
Uh,
even others. Yeah, tell me.
Generally, so this is positive correlation. It doesn't have a direct impact, what I would say. Meaning that uh, the age factor doesn't have much to do about it.
I want you to, I'll give you a lead. Think
Uh,
out of the box also for this when you're commenting on this.
yeah, because age doesn't matter, the skill matters. So depending upon the skill, the salary is being paid, not with the factor of the age. So I think
Okay.
it doesn't have a much.
Okay. First of all, I will say when it is 0.5, yes, it is showing that there is a moderate amount of positive correlation between age and salary. Got it? That's the first thing. But you may say, hey, that means if the person's age is high, the salary will go up. There is another variable, could be that because the person has many years of experience and everything, he has grown up in the job, so therefore he's that age. You're getting me? There is another variable which is impacting also. So it is not just age. We are only looking at age and annual salary and seeing, hey, it is 0.5. But the person who's with the higher age also must be at a higher level. He's coming with many more years of experience, and therefore his salary is very high. So there are other factors also which are impacting the annual salary. So you can't conclude saying that just because the age is high, you'll have a annual salary. Then anybody whose age is high can have a high salary. Are you with me? I hope it, when you do analysis, you need to think, analyze, not just collect some data and then get some figures. No, that is not it. You have to also understand what items, what it is. No? All right. Were there three? Did I give you three?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Did all of you get the same thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just, Shivasri, just click on that correlation. No, your data, no? I want to see what is there, what data is there in that correlation. No, below, there next to food and body weight,
Okay. Oh, this one. Okay.
because I'm looking at another. Now make it small and show me. I want to explain to everybody.
A little bigger. Oh.
This is enough. Now, if you look at this data, that will be better. That will be better. If you look at this data, you have a lot of competencies, functional skills, competitor knowledge, vision, business drivers, accepts other views, etc., etc. Okay. Now we are looking at that if these are all the competencies whose I have evaluated participants and I have also got their ratings, which skill or which competency impacts more for the performance, and you also have the performance of all A B C D F G H people here, performance score 4 3 5 4 2 3 4. This is performance score. Okay, can you see the performance score, everybody? I want you all to get this clear. This is the performance score. And then these are all the scores, rating scores of all these functional skills. Okay. Now I want you to tell me which functional skill or competency impacts more to the performance, so that I can actually then focus on that skill or competency to the participants or the employees, which are, you can give me from the highest, the first three. Okay. Three competencies which impact performance, or the first the highest first three functional skills which impact performance. Now, how will you do? You want to tell me? You want me to tell you all, or you will wanting to do little bit of an experimentation, innovation? You're right, absolutely. What you need to do is you have to do competitor trend knowledge, A, B, C, D. Okay, that will become one array, and performance will become one array. Calculate the correlation for that. Then again, calculate the correlation for other. So like that, you have to calculate the correlation for all of them. Okay. And then look at which is your highest, first high scores, first three. And then say if management gives training on these or focus on this, then the performance will improve. No. Not horizontal, vertically, not like columns, but you have to take as a row. So I can help you all with one. Okay. Whose screen is this?
My screen.
Shivashri. Okay. Let us find out for just push. I want to see which functional skill is that. We'll do the first one.
That is technical.
Okay, competitor and trend knowledge. So now you have to do first of all, go to formula.
Yeah.
You have to do Corel, na?
Yeah.
Then your array will be drag everything. Array 1 will be that.
Okay.
Done. Array 2 will be down. Performance score. Done. Got it?
Yeah.
Likewise, you have to calculate, put one column there, correlation score.
It doesn't come, no? Okay.
Why it won't come? You know that?
I think the constant has to be added there. The dollar symbol has to be added.
Yeah, if you use that sign, then in one go you can do it.
Yeah.
So I leave it to you all. Let me see.
Do you want me to add?
So I want you all to do it independently. Okay.
Shall
First do individually so that you understand.
Shall I stop sharing?
Yeah. Now you can hide your screen if you want. I mean, you can stop sharing and you can do it on your own, Shivasri. Okay. Yeah. But I hope everybody has got to know how to do it. Huh? Okay. Share your screen, Mitra. Everybody there? All right. All right. Okay. So here are, yeah, Mitra, you want to speak?
No, it's okay.
No, you should, because you're the one who did it. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is my conclusion. I find this correlation coefficients for this 25, like 24 factors, like this.
The highest is 0.68.
Yeah, that
And
is
that corresponds to which skill?
that corresponds to
With the ability to coach people efficiently.
That corresponds to which one?
has
Ability
good
to coach.
ability to coach people effectively.
So good ability to coach people effectively. Okay.
Yeah.
Then followed by 6, 8
Then-
afterwards.
Then
5, 7.
business drives and planning.
Business drivers and planning. Then 5, 7, then 5, 6.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. And maybe, okay, because the 51051.
635. Sick.
Yeah.
Culture of
Which is
learning.
the least correlation?
Least is this one. Takes ownership.
How much is it? Minus
0.1.
0.1. Let me just check. Minus. No, there is one second. 0, you said minus 0.1. There is none. Minus, there's no negative. There is this minus 0.01.
Yeah.
0.01 is also there. That is which one? That's the least. Point
And 0.
01.
But 0, 1 or 0, 0, 1 will be least. 0, 1
No,
will
no. This one is how much?
0.129.
Yeah. So which is okay? You tell me minus 0.129 is higher or minus 0.01 is higher? Huh? You tell me, Mitra.
Value wise?
Value wise, yeah.
Ah, okay, then that will be this one, yes.
Huh?
Yes. Negative value, right?
Yeah, negative value of 0.01. No?
Ah, okay. I thought with the least correlation because it will close to -5. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm also looking at that. That one, then minus because it has to be going towards
But this
minus
one
1.
will be
It
this
has to
one.
go. It has to go towards -1. So I'm just looking at. It has to go towards -1.
No, so but
So you are.
this one will be like 0.
Yeah. So I'm looking at your 0.12, and there is one more minus 0.05. So, okay, 3 or 4 of the negative ones are there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So has everybody got this way? So I also want you all to look at these, what is it? Trend scatter graphs for just these 3 highest ones. Just the 3 highest ones. That is 0.68. First of all, my question is, did everybody get the same correlation coefficient? Okay, I can see Vijay's thumbs up.
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? Neha, Pallavi, everybody's got that?
Yes,
Anybody
ma'am.
who's got it differently? Somebody said they were having a challenge. Was it Neha? Huh?
No,
Neha?
not
You're very
no, ma'am, not me. I got exactly the
it's
same.
the same thing. Anybody who's got something which is different than what is being shared on the screen? Anyone? None. Okay. So before we break, I know everybody must be saying, "Abhi abhi to bahut kar liya main. I want a break." So just do the scatter graph and the trend line, and then we can break. Is that okay with you all? Yeah, Vijay, you can share your screen. Okay, great. So you took the data, and yes, that's the trend line. Okay. So clearly you can see that there is a difference between the direction of the higher correlation one, right? Huh? Okay. Good. Good, guys. I hope everybody, all of you have got such trend lines. It's very, very important to do even the graphical visualization because it helps you to understand them. All right. There are some more activities. You have some more data, but some of the correlation you can do later. But I wanted to help you with another concept. So typically, if you recall, you have a lot of data coming in. You have to actually do some benchmarking, and you have to calculate percentile, right? I said what is percentile in my last session. Percentile is different from percentage. Percentile is relative. Percentage is absolute. When I said percentage, so I got marks. Say for example, Pallavi got 80% marks in maths. So what does it mean? Out of 100, she got 80. But if I say 80th percentile, that means if so 80% of the people got lesser and 20% got more. 80th percentile is relative. Now let us look at how to do that, how to actually compute or calculate percentile, which is very easy. For example, say uh, how many of you work here in software companies? Software developer is at a entry level position for most of the software companies, right? Huh? A software developer is an entry level position. Now, say for example, I'm a company, any company, say inventors. Okay. So I want to recruit software developers. And I want to recruit software developers at what salary? At a, say 90% of the salary, 90% of market salary. So I want to be at a 90th percentile. What did I say? Anybody? Can you repeat? Just to be very clear. I want to pay my software developer who's an entry level position at a 90th percentile. How much will you pay, Vijaya? How much in absolute terms? How much salary will you pay if I say 90th percentile, or how will you go about?
So we'll take the market data and we should be at 90 more than, I mean, like 90 companies should be paying equal like us, and 10
Lesser
companies
than
should be
that.
less.
Lesser than you, and 10%. So you don't know the absolute amount. What I'm trying to comment. You are only knowing 90th percentile, you are saying,
Correct.
of the market. But
Correct.
you don't know the salary, how much, absolute amount, how much should I pay? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000? You don't know that amount. You have to
Yes.
calculate. So for all of you, how will you go about assuming now that I'm collecting market data? Means how much is the market paying? So market data means typically, how do I understand? Companies who are typically in the same business, software business, because I don't want to compare with somebody, who is not even making the similar product or a service. Huh? So I want to compete with companies who are making similar product and services. Okay. And with comparable scale. Because a company which is 5,000 crores company may pay X amount, but a company which is 20,000 crores sometimes may pay a higher amount. It depends. So typically, I will take companies who are of the scale and scope and similar organizations. Got it? Now, having done that, assume that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, E, F, G, H, I, J, Q. These are all companies. Okay? A company is paying market, this is 22,000. B is paying so much. M is paying 17,000. O is paying so much. Q is paying this much. I want to pay 90th percentile. How will I do? Tell me, anybody who knows the Excel hacks? Huh? Anybody? Okay, very simple, guys. These compensation professionals or these compensation consultants, they come and they'll say we will compute, and it's simple. Like it's, if you have a will, you can always learn even the most difficult thing. All that you need to do is, okay, what did I do? Formula, insert function. What function will I insert? A window has opened up. Got it? Percentile. Okay. It has asked you to show what? Array and K. What is array? The data of all the companies, right? What is that K? That percentile. What did I say? Percentile 90th. So you will put as 0.9. Now see array. Okay. Now K you will put it as what?
90. Point.
Why 0.9? Because I said 90th percentile. If you do 90 by 100, you'll get 0.9. I hope everybody is clear about it. Now, what will I do? Before that, I'll cancel this. If I want my answer here, okay. So I want my answer here, no? So I put it this. How much?
3,400.
I have to pay 23,400. That means at a 90th percentile of all these companies is 23,400. Likewise, say 50th percentile. 50th percentile is also considered as what? Midpoint or median. I talked about it, I think. Median or midpoint, right? How will I do? Come again. Insert function is already there. No. First, let me block here. Okay. Cancel. Okay. Now, third function, percentile. Okay. Correct. So at a 50th percentile, what is the salary? 18,000. 18,000. Now, you should also learn percent rank. What is percent rank? Say, for example, I want to actually say from 1 to, okay, 0, then where are these salary points? How are they located? So percent rank. How will you do percent rank again? I'm doing this here. Insert function. Percent rank. Okay. So what is it? Array. Okay. Now X. What is X? I want to know. At what percent rank is 22,000. Then I'll put that amount there. X is that amount. 22, 1, 2, 3 zeros. Okay. Now say, okay. Got it? So according to you all, which is the highest 100% percentile, or which will be the highest salary? It will be, can you see my arrow? It will be 1, which is 34,000, which is 100 percentile. And which will be the least? 0. How much is the amount?
14,000.
14,000. So what is the maximum?
34,000.
This is the max. What is the minimum?
14,000.
Okay. Maximum and minimum. Now, can I divide this into 4 quartiles? Can I do like this? 25p, 50p, 75p. No? Are you with me, guys? When your salary range can break down, it can be like this. Okay. I can pay between 50 and 75. I can pay between 75 and 100. This will be my first quartile. That means 1 to 25p will be my first quartile. 25 to 50p will be my second quartile. 50p to 75 will be my third quartile. And 75p to 100p will be my fourth quartile. Is this very clear? When you talk about a compensation salary range. Okay. For practice sake, though I've done it, I want you all to do the percentiles for all this. You put here, like the percent rank, and just calculate. You've already calculated 90 and 50. No, calculate 75 and 25. Or for that matter, 25, 50, 75 and 100. Okay, easy. So that you get hands-on practice. Okay, guys? Yeah. Please get started. That means you have to calculate percentile for 25, 50, 75, 100. You can put it like this here. My cursor is here like this. And percent rank here. So that you understand how to use the statistical term, how to calculate a percent rank and a percentile. Got it? But so the idea to make you all do is practice makes a person perfect. So if you have been able to use percentile, percent rank, if you just do once, so you know how to do percent rank, you know how to do percentile. Got it? Okay. Before I actually get you to do some more breakout activity, let me introduce you to something called, benchmark. When I say benchmark, what is it? Corresponding to it. So I want to benchmark our organization salary with the market. So when I use a word like benchmark, or I can also say I want to benchmark certain practices of our HR to what's happening in the market. What does it mean when I use the word benchmark?
Standardization with market.
Absolutely. I am actually comparing it like I'm using it like a standard, a reference point, or a target. Got it? Absolutely right. What Vijaya was mentioning, standardization. See, hey, I want to achieve that standard. So when I want to achieve that standard, what do? I have to evaluate, right? Whether I'm up to that mark or not. So I'm doing a simple quantification kind of an exercise. Say, for example, to teach you very simply, there are 3 students, S1, S2, S3. Okay. Now the marks they get in maths is 80. I don't know why I'm only talking about maths. Science. We'll talk about science. So they get is 80, 45, and 65. But their benchmark, they're supposed to be, the standard they were set up is 63, 63, 63. Obviously, it will be the same for all the students. Graphically, I want to see, so what is the difference? How do they appear graphically? So how do I do? Very easy. What do we do typically? So I actually select the data. Okay, let me go to done. I select the data. 1 second. I'll select the entire data. Okay. Then I will say insert. Insert. Then I will go to say, yeah, I'll go to this column charts. Okay, maybe I'll use this. All right, if I want, yeah, and then I'll ask them to insert my titles. Okay. Yeah. So this is a column chart you got. You know exactly through this column chart. Now, if I want to actually do a line, any ideas? How will you do a line? Any idea? You can also do a line. So you went to column chart, okay, and did this. Then you can then go to, not data, sorry. Then you can go to insert and look at a chart combo. Is not there anyway. So this is easy, right, guys? How to do a benchmark, saying that, you just have to introduce a column chart and you can do it. Okay. All right.
Ma'am, so the benchmark data was already available.
Exactly. Right. Hey, can you just show how you did it? Because it has to just go to the combo chart. Right.
So here,
Select data. Right. Column. Right.
selected this. Go to insert
Then
again.
again, oh, that's what I didn't do. Go to insert again and combo. Right. Otherwise, it's not picking it up. Okay. Great. So all of you, we will have to go to insert again and do the combo. Good show. So with that graph, you will only get one line as a benchmark, which shows that, where are the students vis-a-vis the benchmark. Okay. All right. Now I want to introduce another technique, two variables that is in the sheet, that is in the attrition database, saying that is there a correlation between the sick days and the performance? If a person is absent, does it reflect on low performance? So that's one. Please make a note of that. Okay. Attrition database. Just open the attrition database. Yeah. What is that you need to do? No, you open that attrition database.
Yeah.
Sick days and performance score.
Where is
Okay.
Where is sick days?
Yeah. You opened it right now. We just showed them and then
In the employee database, right?
in the attrition database.
Okay. Attrition database, it doesn't show sick days. Where is sick days? Sick days,
No, it was an employee database, I think.
yeah, it's in the employee.
Just show the employee database.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick
Sick
days.
days and performance score. And please take the performance score of 16 and not the 15. Okay. You have to actually calculate the correlation coefficient and see if there is any correlation. Now let us just go to the other one. Working conditions and retention. Just click on that. Yeah. So I want you to see the correlation for if there is any correlation between if there are better working conditions, do people stay for a longer time? So just check the correlation between working conditions and talent ratio. Just these two. Before I'm going to look out for my PP. We'll just do this. I want you to take just about 6 to 7 minutes, and then we will do another concept totally different. The regression part. Okay. Yeah, do the trend, do the graph, etc. Everything.
Yeah, this is the correlation for this. First, I'll go with this.
Okay. Which one?
This employee database.
Okay. What are the two variables you have taken now here?
Sick days and
Sick
performance.
days and performance score. Right.
Yeah.
So what is the correlation coefficient?
This is negative.
Negative minus 0.06. It's not even because it is minus 0.06. If it is also having a negative correlation, it is nowhere near, even minus 0.5, right?
Yeah.
To call it as, so it's like it's lurking near zero, which shows that there is no correlation at all.
Yeah.
See, if you have a +1, absolutely positive correlation. If you have a -1, absolutely negative correlation. So if it is from 0 to 0.5 plus minus, it is moderate negative or positive. This one is not even there anywhere. So it shows that there is absolutely no correlation. So what does it infer for you? Did everyone get the same correlation coefficient? Yes, no? Hey guys.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now what does it infer? What does it say?
I think the more employees are on sick days, the performance is also becoming
What?
lower.
No, there is no
There are
impact.
other factors, maybe. I'm sorry,
There is
Shivashi.
No,
no
no.
relation
Yeah, go
between
ahead.
performance and sick days.
Absolutely. So
Can you come again?
this is Pallavi, right? Pallavi. So just to clarify, anybody who wants to give their viewpoint? Yeah. Anybody who wants to give their viewpoint? Pallavi, yeah, somebody was also talking. Anybody else who wants to give the viewpoint?
Just saying the same thing, that there is no correlation between the sick days with the performance of the employee.
What does it infer?
Also to add that there are certain other factors maybe which is influencing the performance.
Okay. So what does it show? Because what's very, very important is just not calculating the correlation coefficient and that's it. As an HR person, I also need to interpret it. What does it show? That means that even if a person takes a number of 6 days, it doesn't really impact the performance. I mean, the data, the sample data, whatever it shows, that it doesn't really impact the performance. What impacts performance? Maybe there are other factors you need to check. You need to do correlation, like say, for example, employee engagement index, or say, for example, the wellness factor, other factors. If you recall, we did one correlation cluster one where there were many 10 or 15 kind of functional skills and we calculated the correlation.
Yeah.
You recall? Yeah.
Yeah.
So likewise, I also have to identify what are those various other things which can impact performance. Got it? And then I will do correlation coefficient for all those factors, collecting data. And then I will see which has the highest positive correlation. Then I should make a difference to it.
Yeah.
For example, we talked about, hey, if I wanted to convert all the cold calls into what? Conversions. So I will look at, there are various factors. It could be what? Customer service, product knowledge, listening, communication. So which has the highest correlation? So likewise here with the simple two sets of variables, sick days and performance score, I can infer that at least 6 days is out. I mean, I cannot say that a person who will take more 6 days will have an impact on performance. Clearly, it shows because it's absolutely no correlation at all. Is that very clear, guys? Interpretation is also very important. Can we take the next one? But is this all very clear for you all? Huh? How you interpret? Then let us look at the other one. Yeah. What was the other one?
Yeah, this one. Work
Yeah,
conditions
Pallavi.
and retention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please,
So
please say. Huh. What is the other one?
there's working conditions and talent retention. Here the correlation shows 0.50, which is like moderate one.
Yeah. I mean, there is sufficient evidence that, I mean, the correlation coefficient is moderately, it shows positive correlation. That means if you improve working conditions,
Yeah.
definitely it can add to what?
More talent retention.
I
There
mean,
is there
your
will be
talent
less
can be
attrition in that case.
retained and therefore less attrition. Very clear? Okay. I hope everybody's got the same coefficient and you are very clear how to interpret also? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you just stop sharing your?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to just introduce because this is little tough. So appreciate the concept and we will do in detail the next time. Okay. So the other technique which we can use is called regression. All right. Has anybody used regression anywhere or are you familiar with regression? Okay. This is one of the very important statistical technique which is called regression. Now you may ask me, how is regression different from correlation? So before even we say how it is different, let us understand what are the common things. Correlation, two variables, right? Two variables. Even regression has two variables. That's it. But now the similarity stops. How? When we are saying regression, now the two variables has a causation effect. Whereas in correlation, they may show you that there is a relationship, there is a direction, whether it's positive, negative, but it doesn't, there is no causation. What does it mean, causation? There is no cause and effect relationship. Regression has a cause and effect relationship. For example, simple example. I don't know how many of you are having this hobby of, growing plants and all that. So to grow a plant, we use fertilizer. When you put the fertilizer to a plant, when you bought into the plant, what will happen? The plant also shows some growth. No, it shows some growth. So data you can collect. What is that? Fertilizer data, amount of fertilizer data, and you can also collect the growth of the plant data. So these are two variables, but which is the cause and which is the effect? There is so the more fertilizer I put, the growth of the plant will be higher. So the dependency of the growth of the plant is dependent on what? Fertilizer. Got it? Fertilizer. That means the response is dependent on the fertilizer. So can I call fertilizer as an independent variable? Just give me a thumbs up. It's very important to know. Independent variable. For example, different example. Mitra works very, very hard. She puts in many hours of work. Okay? And then she gets marks. Number of hours of study. And then which is dependent on, the marks are dependent on number of hours of study. You get me? So which is an independent variable here?
Number of hours.
Correct.
Number
That
of
is an
hours.
independent variable. Which is a dependent variable? DV is the marks. Are you now clear? So you have to be very clear here about independent variable and dependent variable. Independent variable is always X. Okay? And dependent variable is always Y. Now, to make it very clear, though I will be teaching you more on that, but let me just show you quickly a little bit of a practically, I'll just show you so that you feel comfortable. But I won't take you through everything, just to help you with it. Okay. Don't look at this one, just look at this. See, and normally, I don't know how many of you are little aware if you do things in compensation. When we design compensation, what we do for all the jobs, we to design a salary structure, to have fairness and equity, we do a process called job evaluation. If you are all HR people, Mitra is not, but this is fundamentally, if I have to be fair and equitable, we do job evaluation. That means how much is this job worth? How much should I pay? Okay. So when I do job evaluation and worth, then I will do it quantificationally by one method called point plan, where I will quantify that. Say, for example, HR team lead, after having done that exercise of job evaluation, I've assigned 220 points, while I have assigned technical chief as 380 points. That means the job with the higher points is higher. So I will pay higher salary, and the job with lesser points is lesser. So I will pay lesser salary. Okay. Now, just to explain to you here, when I'm talking about regression, so point values are independent variable X. The salary is dependent on this. So therefore, the salary, if I'm now taking benchmarking with market salary, the salary is a dependent variable, which I can call it as Y. Are you with me now, guys? What is it? The point value is X and the market salary is Y. So what are you typically doing? You are trying to first of all establish the cause and effect, which I'm saying that, the one which causes is X and the one which the effect is Y. Why do you do regression? You're trying to predict. Say, for example, if I'm going to give this example, I have taken the point values. I've got the market salary here. Okay. And with using this regression statistical technique, I can actually predict the salary as to how much should I pay for my company. Are you with me? And that's what compensation consultants do and take a hefty salary. Are you with me, guys? Huh? Simple. So before we close, I will show you how we do it. Okay. So I will show you 1 and 2 methods. So for the next session tomorrow, please download data analytics. Sometimes it disappears. Let me see if I have it here. No, I have to download. So I'll show you by the other method. Okay. So this is X and this is Y. So to get my predicted salary, what do? I have to calculate two values called slope and intercept. Slope and intercept. Simple again, go back. So if I want to calculate slope value, what will I do? Just go to formula, go to insert function, and then cancel this. Okay. So, yeah, insert function. And I want to calculate slope and say, okay. All right. So when you do this, you are getting a window which opens known Y's, known X's. So that is why I said it's very important to name your independent variable always as X and dependent variable always as Y, because your Excel also uses that same thing. Now Y. So what do? Just click on this and okay. Now known X's. Click on this. Okay. And I say, okay, where did it go? Okay, I'll do it again. All right. What do? Slope. Okay. Known Y's. Known X's. Okay. What is the value? The slope value is 413 point. I will close it to round it off to 5.57. I can put it as 0.57. I'll do it here. So I can say 413 point 5 and I'll use it as 7. Okay. How will I calculate intercept? Somebody tell me, please. I will put this here. How will I calculate intercept? Quick. Just tell me, anybody who can tell me. Insert function. Then, yeah, anybody unmute and intercept. Okay. Known Y's.
Y.
Point X.
Y.
Then again, I will say X. Okay. I will always get intercept as a minus. I will explain to you in the next session why intercept comes as a minus and why it comes as a slope. So now there is a formula if I have to calculate this predicted salary. The formula is, so the Y salary, what I call it as pay line salary, is equal to slope multiplied by the point value plus intercept. Okay. Now I just have to incorporate that here. If you can see, that is, if you can see this formula, I have already put it here. 4, I also rounded this 413 as 415. 414 multiplied by the point value. Okay. Then because it is minus, I put minus, and then I just have to drag it. Then I get the salaries. Got it? Now, whenever I do a regression, I have to check whether there is correlation. Because if there is no correlation, then I cannot do regression. So how will you do that? Just select, insert, go to chart, and go to this. Okay. Then click on any right and add trend line. Okay. So there is a, now there are so many ways of doing a quick correlation, right? So you can see that if the trend line is like this, do you think there is correlation? Obviously there is correlation. So you can also so for me, a quick grasp of things, if I do a visual or a graph, I get to know easily. So typically most of the compensation experts or even others, they look at it visually to understand, yes, there is a correlation. Then you can go ahead with the regression. Okay. I won't hasten up and tell you other things, because what happens is regression needs a lot more. Okay, guys. So just to wrap up, so I told you in regression that there are two variables which are, one is the independent variable IV and other is the dependent variable. And then in regression, you actually do regression to predict, but you can't do regression without sufficient correlation. Okay. Now there are many ways of doing regression. You can do a quick layout, you can do a data analysis back, and I will teach you all those things and what is the slope, what is the intercept in our next session. And also, where can you do regressions in our HR, and especially in compensation, we do a lot of regression.